Hello.
She pulled the joke off. She did well.
Nice Kazam. My mic on? How's everyone doing? Nice Kazam joke, lady. Nice one.
Can't believe how many people came out to see me talk today. What do you think?
I know. You're a legend.
Actually, you are now in Shaq by Shaq West. We're about to have a good time, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk a little bit about wearables and about Shaq's plan to dominate the wearable space the way he dominates everything.
Do we have to stand up? You know I'm old now.
No, I think you ought to sit down.
Because I didn't put my icy hot on this morning, so I'm gonna sit down. Go ahead, continue.
Right, so we're going to talk a little bit about wearables, and I have a handful of questions that I'm going to ask Shaq, but also we've got the Twitter feed coming up here on the display, so if you guys have some really good questions that you want to ask, please feed them up, and we'll do our best to get through as many of them as we possibly can. So it was a busy week last week for you. On Thursday, didn't you have a big day?
Well, I was on 6th Street last night, and I was drinking, so I don't remember anything.
So I do believe Thursday.
No, yeah, last week was my 42nd/13th birthday. My mother tells me all the time, stop acting like you're 13 years old, but I'm 42 years old.
So, and it was also the day that you announced the relaunch of Sxsw.
Yes, the relaunch of Sxsw. You know, funny thing is, I tell people about that, and the first thing I get is a laugh because you know, when I did the original Sxsw, that was on the beginning of the new technology. So the game was very, very old, and then, you know, Microsoft, they just came out with some new technology that just kicked my ass. So you know, Sxsw, the first one was kind of awful, but the new one has up-to-date technology, and I think people will enjoy it.
When are they going to launch it? When's it actually going to come out?
I don't know.
You don't know?
You know, the great Einstein said things that you can get access to, you should never memorize. So I never really memorize anything. You know, I got
Make sure
phones,
that they get some activity though going on.
Oh
You
yeah,
don't want to
yeah,
have a
we
bunch
will.
of kids sitting
That's
around
right, baby. Wearables, Fitbit.
It's all about wearables. So the other big news last week for Shaq was that he went to high school here the last 2 years of his high school career, and they retired his jersey at Cole High School just yesterday, right? Or Friday?
Yes, that was yesterday. I attended high school way back in 1989, and we got the opportunity to play in the state championship here in 1989, and we won that. My team was 36-0, and I was a great free throw shooter at that time.
Do you have camera proof, any footage on that?
I don't need proof. We went 36-0. Just take my word for it.
Fair enough. So let's get into a little bit of talking about wearables, Shaq. So since you retired from the NBA, what's the biggest change you've seen in your health? You were obviously a world-class athlete and very fit. What's the biggest change you've seen?
You want the real answer?
Yeah.
Well, I'm taking more Cialis now that I'm 42.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, I'm taking more Cialis. It's not getting up like it used to. No, just playing. No, I just you know, being an athlete. You know, when I retired, I kind of just shut off all activity, and then I saw myself getting a little heavy around the midsection. So I wanted to pick my activity up, but you know, it's not about being as intense like I'm you know, preparing for NBA season. So, you know, basically it's just doing normal people things, you know, walking on a couple of miles, you know, walking on the treadmill, you know, just trying to eat right, you know, just trying to do things right. A lot of times when we say get in shape, the average people, you know, they think we need to go lift 1,000,000 pounds and do that. It's all about keeping that heart rate up and just, you know, just being active. And, you know, you can just do that by walking. You know, I think there's some studies that say walking is more effective than running. You know, for guys that like me that have bad knees, I can't really do a lot of running now. So, you know, from my house to the front gate in Orlando is approximately 2 miles. So, you know, I try to walk that at least. Not my gate. I live in a community. You guys are too smart for your own good sometimes. No, but you know, for me to walk from my house to the front gate is 2 miles. So if I walk there and back, that's 4 miles, and you know, that's also equivalent to doing up to 45 minutes or an hour on the elliptical. So I just try to stay active, and you know, a lot of times we don't really know what we're doing, but when we have the wearables to collect that data and report that data, it's good. Like, you know, with my Fitbit, I'm set at, I try to get 10,000 steps a day. So a lot of times during the day, if I'm not doing anything, it'll warn me and I'll be like, oh, I'm at 5,000. So that kind of makes me go upstairs, get on the treadmill, or make me walk around the block just to try to get up to 10,000. Because if I don't get to 10,000 steps, I feel like I'm not doing my job.
Yeah, it's great. It's great the way that these technologies, especially now that you've got beyond just the device that you're wearing, but you've got the technology to interact with on your display, and also you can compete with your friends, and it's interesting the way that it helps motivate us.
You know, it's very interesting. You know, you guys do a great job. You know, you mentioned you know, compete with your friends. I got Colin, Perry, Mike, and Jerome. Like,
how are you doing against them?
I'm doing terrible right now. No, but you know, they'll poke me every now and then. They'll be like, "Hey, you only did 5,000 steps," and you know, like Jerome is my uncle. He's been with me for over 25 years. This guy works out an hour and a half on the treadmill every day. So he wakes up at 6. By 8 a.m., he's already at 10,000 steps. So he's like, "Hey, man, you only at 2,000 steps? I'm at 20." I'm like, "Damn."
So what is it? I think a lot of people would be fascinated to hear a little bit about the transformation that you go through, because you're literally working out every single day and for hours at a time, and you know, you just shut it off one day unless you're self-motivated and unless you go out and do that yourself. And I'm interested not just in how you dealt with that, but also your peers, your friends from the NBA or other athletes. How do you guys make that mental adjustment?
Well, it's tough. You know, for me, I played 20 years, and basically I was just tired. But, you know, again, I used to be sexy, Rick. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So one day I looked in the mirror and my 6-pack turned into a 4-pack. And then my 4-pack turned into a 2.8-pack. And then that turned into a little chubby belly, and I had to get it back. But again, I didn't want to do, like, you know, when I was preparing for the NBA, it was 1,000 sprints, 1,000 jumps, 1,000 moves. But, you know, I just needed, you know, it's like, you ever seen Superman 2?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so when Superman 2, he met Lois Lane and gave his powers back. So now I'm just like a regular Clark Kent. So I'm a regular business guy, and I don't want to do crazy athletic stuff. I want to do what normal people do. I want to go to a 24-hour fitness, get on the treadmill, do light weights, do a couple squats. I just want to keep my heart rate up, just want to stay active.
Good.
You like that Superman 2 reference?
I do.
Right,
Superman 1 is right here, by the way, everybody.
Because I know I'm 40. How old are you?
What's
About
that?
80?
How old am I?
Yeah, 80?
Yeah.
Up there? Okay,
I'm 10
cool.
years older than you.
All right.
I just learned the other day.
You know what? You're a sexy 80-year-old man. The hair, looking
big,
good.
tall, bald, but not quite as big,
Right.
not quite as tall, not quite as bald as my friend Shaq.
I love you too. Oh, was that for me or for Rick?
No, that was for you. I'm sure that was
You got
for
the
you.
old ladies hitting on you, baby. Yes, yes.
So I know you like to say you're the world's tallest geek. What part of Wearables attracted the geek in you?
Well, I'm a geek, but I'm lazy. So, you know, even though I'm on the treadmill, and, you know, treadmills, you know, they only give you certain readings, calories, whatever, but, you know, certain wearables gives you all that. How many calories you burn, how many steps you took in, how many miles you got. And, you know, that's what really attracted me, that it's all right there in one place. Because, you know, like, let's just say I don't walk all the way to the gate. I get a little bit tired, so I still want to know how far I walk. So with the wearables, especially Fitbit, I may didn't walk 2 miles, but I may walk, you know, 1.5 miles or something. So, you know, it just gives you the information that you need to, you know, try to fulfill your destiny for that day. And again, you know, I'm set to 10,000 steps a day.
All right, I'm going to go to the monitor here because I see an interesting one. It says, hey, Shaq, what do you think of smart basketballs? And how do you think they'll change the game?
Well, you're 20 years too late. If I'd have had a smart basketball, I'd have shot 100% from the free throw line. Chris Anderson, wherever you are. No, but I don't know what a smart basketball is. What does that mean?
9450.
Anybody know what a smart basketball is? No?
It like tracks like you're dribbling. Like it's like almost like it tracks everything that you do with a basketball.
Oh, so you get analytics probably around, you know, how you're, who's dribbling the ball, how fast you're dribbling the ball, every bounce that's. What do you think about analytics in general around the game?
It tracks your dribbling?
Yeah, I guess.
That's, you know, that's probably more of an app for Kobe. You know, he likes to dribble a lot. Ask him that question. Just playing, Lakers fans. Jeez. Tough crowd, Rick. Tough crowd.
Actually, I just read the other day that in the D-League, they're going to be putting wearables on them. They're actually going to be putting shirts and heart rate monitors on them and tracking their activity. They're tracking their heart rate. Have you heard much about that? What do you think about that? Basically, where they're going, I think, with this is that more data enables the fans to kind of get engaged and find out who's doing what, who's been working harder, who's getting more tired. You probably don't want the competition to know that during the game, but getting the fans engaged that way, what do you think about it?
Man, you know, I think it's very impressive. You know, having the fans involved is, you know, something that we all like. It's also a way to monitor if you're in shape or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So coaches see your heart rate going up and staying up there. Means you got to do some extra running.
That's right. And also it might mean that it's time to take them out and put somebody else in.
Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have that problem, of course, though.
You never had that problem?
No.
All right. So I know your children are very important to you. What type of technology in the health field do you think they'll see in their lifetime? What are some of the things you
Well,
think?
they all have the Fitbit. You know,
Yep.
they all compete. They're all in that group. They love Google Glass. You know, I kind of teach them also to be a little bit innovative and just search and, you know, just see what's out there. I can remember as a youngster growing up watching the Jetsons. Remember the Jetsons?
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, even as a youngster, I was like, that'll be here one day. I can remember when I had my first cell phone. I had the big block one. And it was just, you know, unbelievable. And I remember when I had the first pull-out CD changer deck. I just love technology. You know, true story, growing up in high school, I was kind of intimidated by the nerds and the geeks because I thought I wasn't that smart. And then I had to pass a government class, so I needed a tutor. And the nerdiest guy in the school was also the school tutor. He was the smartest guy in the class. And when I hung out with this guy, he was the coolest guy in the world. And then, you know, we talked, we had a good time, and he actually showed me that you know, technology even back then was dummy-proof. And I was like, oh, this is all you have to do? I mean, I was very, very intimidated by even looking at it. Computer? I don't know how to work that shit. No way. Keep it away from me. Oh, excuse my French. But you know, we hung out, and he was a cool guy, and then, you know, we you know, stayed in touch, stayed in contact, and, you know, he actually told me something about Google before it came out, and then I was one of the first original investors in Google, and
Really?
you know, the way he explained it and broke it down, it just made sense. And ever since then, that was in 1988. Ever since then, I've considered myself a geek and a techie, and I take pride of you know, being the first of, you know, knowing something or having something that is coming out in the future.
Yeah, and we're talking a bit about wearables as it relates to our fitness and staying fit, but these are, you know, our view is that these are early examples of the way that we're going to be managing our health in the future, and maybe more serious conditions. And I know you've got some diabetes in the family. What do you think about using these types of technologies to help manage serious chronic disease?
I mean, you know, I think it's going to be very efficient. I'll let you tell them about the new wearables that you're talking about, but I think it's going to be very efficient. You know, I think it's something that people would just going to love. So why don't you explain to the people what you're talking about when you say the
Sure.
new wearables?
So we're working with a number of companies on a number of different types of technologies that are, the first instance of these are coming out in the form of wearables, but over time, we see that they're getting smaller and smaller. They're getting more and more power efficient. They're getting less and less expensive. And they're also beginning to track more and more variables, so more and more vital signs or biometric readings, so that one device that you might wear or that might be a patch, and maybe if you've got, or you're at serious risk for certain diseases or a heart attack or a stroke, maybe even might be implanted at some point. And so we're working with a number of companies, including one of these implantables that is looking for biomarkers for heart attacks. And Dr. Eric Topol, we're working with Dr. Topol on this specific project, and he likes to talk about the heart attack ringtone. You'll have a sensor embedded in your body that will be looking for precursors for a heart attack, and in advance of you potentially having that heart attack, you'll get a ringtone on your phone telling you you better go see a doctor, and that might in and of itself give you a heart attack, by the way, wouldn't it?
I don't want that ringtone.
Hopefully you won't need that, but that's where we see the technology going to smaller and smaller, less and less expensive technologies.
What about one that reads insulin levels?
Excuse me?
What about one that reads insulin levels?
Insulin levels, yeah. Boy, there's a whole bunch of technologies out now, or I should say a bunch of companies that are working on technologies to measure insulin, measure glucose levels. And we work closely with a company in San Diego by the name of Dexcom, and they've got the first continuous glucose monitor where it's a patch, and it's got a little needle that's under your skin, and it gives you your glucose reading every 5 minutes. So you have a 724 trending of your glucose. But there's a number of others that are working on non-invasive approaches, and that we probably have a handful of diabetics in the crowd, I'm sure, but for most diabetics, that's sort of the holy grail. We heard a little bit recently about Google's patent on the contact lens that will supposedly read glucose levels, but for those of you who are diabetics that are excited about that, that's quite a ways out. Don't get too excited about it. Technologies like Dexcom that are available in the market today are obviously much more realistic. But in time, we do see, we're working with a whole bunch of different companies that are working on different types of technologies that will, we believe, in the relatively near future, help us come up with the non-invasive continuous glucose monitoring device. It's out there. It's just going to take a little bit of time.
All right. Want to take a question from the audience?
Yeah, let's see what we got here. How can we make, this is a good one. So, Shaq, how can we make wearable technology more accessible to broader youth and encourage healthier lifestyle choices?
I think it's very easy. One, especially in certain communities, just think we had to break it down to them in language that they understand. And, like activity wearable bracelets, wear this while you're working out and, get to certain levels. The child obesity rate is up, and that's, basically because, a lot of fast food places around, but kids are not as active as they were when you and I were growing up. So, we just have to keep it simple for them, keep it fun for them, and just put it in languages that they understand.
Yeah. Here's an interesting one. I don't know what you think about this, but Courtney Duncan asks, says, you and Magic Johnson seem to be like-minded businessmen post-basketball career. Have you considered combining forces with Magic?
I don't know who that is. Am I supposed to? No,
he's a basketball player.
No, Magic kind of set the way for guys like myself. I read an interesting stat in 1987, and it's true today. 85% of most athletes, when they're done playing, post-career, end up broke. So, my family and my staff, we've done a great job of just staying active and just, staying educated. That was always one of my fears of just, doing the wrong thing. But, I've been lucky a few times, and I've aligned myself with some good companies, and even though I've been divorced twice, I still got a little bit of money left. They didn't get it all, Rick. They got most of it, but not all.
So we're working at Qualcomm on a number of different technologies that help enable some of these wearables. And in fact, I'm wearing my Talk watch, which is connected with my phone, which means that every time that one of you tweet with my Twitter handle, I get a little buzz here on this thing. But what we do with our wearable technology is that we're really trying to show the art of the possible. We're using our Mirasol technology. We also are using our wireless charging for this device. It's got very low battery draw. You can actually use this for 4 or 5 days without having to charge it. And we're hoping to show what technologies are available for others to commercialize in this space. And the reason that I'm pointing this out, and you heard Shaq talk a few times about Fitbit as well, is that I just want to make sure all of you guys know that I met Shaq a few months ago because he came out to Qualcomm and he was a keynote speaker for an event that we had. And I noticed that he was wearing his Fitbit. And so afterwards, I went up to him and chatted with him a little bit, asked him about it, and he told me that he was really interested in this space. He cared a lot about maintaining his own fitness and the fitness of his family, and wanted to make sure that they stayed healthy and avoided disease. And he said he wanted to be part of the movement. He wanted to be part of the cause. So he's not a paid endorser for Qualcomm or for Fitbit. He's here because he really believes in what we're all here doing and what we're interested in. He's part of the cause.
You're not paying me? What the hell am I doing at this conference?
He's here because he's a believer, and he's helping us move this cause forward. So, given your current health, what's the most important measurement? What's the stat? What's the thing that you want to know on a daily basis to know that you're staying fit or getting more fit?
I want to know how many calories I burn. I want to know how many steps I take. Like I've said many times, my goal is 10,000, but if I can get to my Uncle Jerome status, 20, 30,000 steps a day, then I know I'm getting in some good work. Like if there's ever a day that I don't reach my 10,000, I know I'm slacking off, and I have to get myself, mentally prepared to get back in slight athletic mode. So, I'm just doing it more. So, calories are very important. The steps are very important, and just eating a little bit more healthier.
Good. This is an interesting question, and I don't want to get overly technical on you, but I think the crowd would benefit from hearing your perspective on this. They actually moved past it, so I won't be able to read it exactly. But the question was around privacy issues with data like this flowing around. I'm just interested in your take on that. There's a lot of people that are concerned that health information made available in the cloud could eventually be get in the wrong hands, and it could be used for bad reasons. What are your thoughts about the issues of privacy around health information? You told me you mix it up with your friends and you enjoy doing that, but what do you think about that whole issue of privacy of health information?
It's actually a great question. I've always had that fear, and my name online is Tom Jones. I'll never put anything in my name. I'm so fearful of that and identity theft. But you could create a different user profile.
Yep.
You just have to always be safe, especially when it comes to personal information. But me personally, I've never used my name at one time. I'm Tom Jones.
Tom Jones. Someone's asking a question about any suggestions around. Do you have knee issues? Do you have any good ideas around
I do have knee issues, but I don't know what that knee issue is.
suggestions for, I don't know what that is.
Osteoarthritic?
Arthritic knees to encourage walking activity for 50-plus-year-olds.
I encourage walking for 50-plus-year-olds, yes. There's this guy that lives in my neighborhood, he's 80 years old.
That's my age, yeah.
Same age as you.
I try and get my 10,000 steps.
I see this guy walking every morning, rain, cloudy, hot. This guy walks in, and he's in great shape. And I'm kind of embarrassed because he walks a little bit faster than I do. So yes, if you're 50 and up and you don't have a hip or knee or ankle issues, yes, I encourage walking.
You want to answer that one?
What do I have to do to reach the highest level of black belt in Sxsw? Well, it's not possible because you have to kick my ass, and that's not possible. So
isn't that the
you can't reach it, Matt?
Isn't that the $15,000 investment level on your?
Yeah, you
on your
want to write a
Kickstarter?
check?
Yeah, for black belt. So what? You talked a little bit about the adjustments that you're making from your career as a professional athlete. What sort of adjustments do the rest of us need to be thinking about as we get older? Is it the same thing, or?
You know, again, when great athletes say stay in shape, a lot of people think that means lift 1 million pounds and run 100 miles. No, it's just about keeping your heart rate up.
Yeah.
You know, eating a lot of protein and not that much carbohydrates. Just, you know, being as healthy as possible. And, you know, you just have to keep active. Like, you know, you could eat or drink things in moderation, but the more active you are, you know, the lesser chance you have to get, you know, certain problems, you know, such as diabetes.
Right. Would you ever allow permanent technology embedded in your body if you thought it would help you maintain your health? Only
one. The Cialis chip. Press that button. I was just playing. Wake up, people. It's a joke. That's pretty good. I think I have to patent that, the Cialis chip.
So it's asking also what other applications of wearable besides health are you most excited about? I think what we're seeing a lot of is that the connected home, where more and more the technology around you is going to interact with you, and you're going to have the ability to interact and control that technology as you walk into a room. We've got at Qualcomm a technology called AllJoin, where it is code that exists in consumer electronic devices and also in your handheld device that enables you to recognize the other things that have controllers and actually walk into a room without it being the same manufacturer's devices, without having any sort of pre-configuration done, and you control the room. You turn lights on and off, you lock and unlock your door, you control your stereo, you control your dishwasher, you control all your health devices. And more what we're seeing is the network getting closer and closer to us, where our homes are becoming part of the network. We're helping to create the network. And a lot of this stuff is really becoming seamless and part of the fabric. So it won't be that long from now before you walk into your home and you will own and control everything in the home automatically with your devices, with what might be wearables, what might be handheld devices.
What inspired you to start your own business, Gage, as age 10?
10-year-old asking a question. I like it.
He's a smart guy, huh?
Yeah, Karen Daniel, I guess Gage must be her son.
What inspired you to start your own business at age 10? I just wanted to be different, Gage, and I just wanted to feel smart. You know, good thing about owning a business is the great Eisenhower said, the greatest leaders are the ones smart enough to hire people smarter than him. So even though I own a lot of businesses, I have people that are very smart. You know, I got Perry, I got Colin, I got Mike, I got Jerome. I got guys that are so smart. It just makes me feel good about any business that we get ourselves into. So that's the key, Gage. Make sure you hire people smarter than you.
Someone's asking if you're an Android or an iPhone guy.
Both.
Both? You got them both?
It's like being single but being allowed to date two people. Was that a good answer? No, not good.
That's good.
Yeah.
But we got Qualcomm technology in both of them, so that's good.
I know.
The more the merrier. And how will wearables bridge the fashion gap? This is actually a really interesting question because a lot of folks won't wear these things because they're ugly. And more and more, they're getting more and more fashionable. And in fact, there are some fashion brands now that are considering integrating them into their own designs. But you look pretty fashionable, actually, with your Fitbit on. What do you think about the...
Because fashion is all over the place, I think it will create more of a broader audience. Business people like us wouldn't wear the stuff that the kids wear, and then the kids' stuff that we wear, you business guys wouldn't wear. So, it's just, I think it'll just, create a broader audience. And, I like the stuff that has a digital readout and, very, very bright. And I like certain colors like black, red, and blue. But, there's kids that like camouflage or like fluorescent. So, I think that to the, people that are creating these, don't just think of one or two fashions. You have to, hit all the audiences.
Yeah. So one of the questions also that's coming up is, what are your biggest frustrations about wearables? And I know you had a frustration early on about your wearable.
Yeah, a lot of times when I go to the store, I only see small, medium, and large. I'm an extra large guy. And I think in this world we live in today, there's a lot of extra large people. So, I would like to see extra large or even double XL. Because, the bigger you are, the more you need to stay active. So I think
Absolutely.
If we could make wearables, for everybody's size, it'll help them become more aware. It'll make it more fun for them, and, they can start to get themselves in shape. Because I had to buy two, cut one, and then homeboy hook it up to make it fit. You know what that is, homeboy hook it up?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I got that.
Just checking.
Well, one of my frustrations is the cost. I think we need to get the cost down so that more and more people can afford them, and more.
Well, you're the boss. Let everybody know you're going to reduce the cost right now. Do it. Do it. I'll talk to the stock guys later. You just do it right now.
Whatever you say, Shaq. So do you think wearables can help athletes improving their skills? So, upping their free throw percentages, for example, is the question.
Next question. Maybe. I mean, I'm sure, it'll be a guy one day that'll have a wearable that, because when you shoot, you're supposed to be at a 90-degree angle. So I'm sure it'll be a wearable that you're at 88, or, like if you get to 88 or 87,
yeah,
it'll beep, and then you have to get it back to 90, and then when it stops beating, it's beeping, it lets you know that you're allowed to shoot. Technology is going everywhere, so I'm sure someday that it'll be something like that. I wish they would have had it when I was playing.
So you mentioned that your whole family has fitness trackers. What kind of interaction do you all have to encourage each other with the family?
We have bets. Monetary bets, just bets right now. And
bets.
Yeah, bets. Right now, whoever has
Who's winning?
I think Perry and Jerome are close. They're at like 80,000 steps a week.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to do it for, we're going to just count up the steps for the month, and then at the end we get to go have some fun.
Cool. You walked around the floor, I know, a little bit before you came in. Did you find anything interesting, whether it was in the wearable space or anything else in health technology?
I found a company that tracks algorithms. I'm starting to become an algorithm expert now. And it was very, very interesting. And if you send out a tweet, it'll track who retweeted it and who made a purchase off of it, stuff like that. That company was pretty good. And then, there's a lot of other stuff. Mophie was out there, one of my favorite companies. I'm a Mophie guy. And Tip Solutions, Tip Tip Solutions help you manage phone calls better, because for the past 50 years, the way we manage phone calls has been the same. You either answer the call or you reject the call. We want to make the reject call button the last option. For example, like if I get a call right now, there's an option on the phone where I can send a voice message and say, hey, I'm talking to my main man Rick right now, we're at this panel, I'll call you back.
Yep.
Or you could take a picture of the crowd, say I'm busy, and send it to him. So, it's just an easier way, because and you do this to me all the time, like when I call you sometimes, you'll let the phone ring.
Oh, yeah.
And then I know you hit reject because the phone will go, I'm like, he doesn't want to talk to me. So instead of leaving the person that's calling in the dark all the time, you could, reply with a, more respectful way.
Yeah, all right, I'll work on it. I promise I'll work on it.
And it's called Call Snap, and it's only on Android right now. Check it out.
Got it.
It'll help you out. It's a no-brainer. Call Snap. Like snap, call snap.
Cool.
Why are you looking at me like that? You don't know how to spell snap? S-N-A-P, man, snap. All right.
How much physical education should be in schools? A lot of
It
states
should be in all the schools. Every school, like when I read or listen to stories that say they drop PE class, it's crazy. It's absurd to me, because, these days there's more fast food joints, and so you just have to stay active. Like, my kids, I let them cheat in moderation, but if we have a cheat day, I got to keep them active. For example, like if I'll take them to SeaWorld or something, and then I don't feel like cooking when I come home, and they say we want to go to McDonald's, I'll let them pig out at McDonald's, but then when we get to the house, we got to play kickball. Got to do something. You just can't let them eat, play games, and sit around all day, because that's how they start to get chubby, and that's when child obesity numbers raise, and that's when, other issues, come. Hypertension, diabetes, all that good stuff. So, we always got to keep kids active. And then you got to look at, like, a lot of other social issues. Like, a lot of parents live in bad neighborhoods, and they don't want their kids outside.
Yeah.
So after school, you come in the house, and you just stay there, and there's nothing for the kids to do. Especially if mom is working and dad is working. It's nothing but the kids to do but eat cookies, eat cupcakes, and play video games. So they're not active. So I think it's crazy that you take away the PE programs. I think it's crazy.
Yeah, child obesity is such a big problem. Wouldn't it be cool if we got the price down low enough on these activity trackers that
let's do it. You done brought it up twice.
The kids were using them in school.
You brought it up twice.
Partly graded by how active they were.
No,
in PE.
it would. It would.
I like that idea.
I love you too. It's it'll be great. And I love companies that are very innovative but also affordable. And I know you guys are going to do that. You guys have always been, the leader in those type of issues. But we just need to keep our children active.
How about health technology in cars? I know that you do a little bit of work with some automobile manufacturers.
I only own one car, and that's a Buick. I love.
That's a drivable health technology.
Yeah, but I love the technology in cars now, and I'm actually jealous, because when I was coming up, you had to have the CD disc changer, and you had to do all this and to pull it out, but now you can hook it up to the Bluetooth. It's MapQuest, and the address book on the phone. I'm very, very jealous. Temperature, touch dashboard thing is nice. It's beautiful.
But what's interesting about a car is that you don't do anything to a car. Maybe you fill up the gas a little bit early, but even the gas nowadays, you wait until something tells you what to do. Something registers that says you're low on gas. You need to go get an oil change. You have an engine problem. So you have all those sensors in the car that are being analyzed all the time, and then eventually presenting themselves with some sort of alarm. And that's where we hope to go with this wearable type technology, where we enable enough readings digitize enough of our own health information, enough of our biometric readings, that we can get that type of interface for us, so that we know when to go see the doctor, when we need to be more active, when we need to. And
if anybody can do it, I know you guys at Qualcomm can do it.
We're working on it. with a bunch of our partners, by the way. So the question is, besides Cialis, your brand has never been stronger. What keeps you going?
You know, what keeps me going is just being able to make people smile. You know, people ask me all the time, how do you use social media? And it's been the same since day one. 60% to make you laugh. So I may send out a funny tweet or a funny title or funny Instagram just to make you laugh. You know, it's a good feeling when you have 8 million followers and they can get something that makes them laugh, makes them feel good. 30% to inspire them. Every now and then I'll get in Dr. O'Neill mode and I'll hit them with a quote. You know, it touched me, maybe it could touch them. And then 10% to sell stuff. Icy Hot, Solar Shack, Oreo, Qualcomm, Fitbit. And I use it like that. You know, I see a lot of superstars that basically brag a lot, and I didn't want to be one of those guys. Yo, I just bought a helicopter, I just bought this, I bought that. I didn't want to be one of those guys. I wanted to use it different, and I think that's why I'm still around.
Yeah, all right. You know, this is a really good question because I know there is some stuff going on. The primary owner of what used to be called the Sacramento Kings, now called the Shaqramento Kings, because he's a co-owner in the Kings, is very well known for his use of data and in sport. In fact, he coached his daughter's basketball team. I don't know if you know this. I read an article about it. He coached his daughter's basketball team, and he was that coach with fourth grade girls, where he was having his team press the other team every time they took the ball in bounds. So of course they could never get the ball in bounds, and they always won. But he figured out that that was the way that they could win all their games. And I'm wondering how he's bringing that sort of analytical approach into the Sacramento Kings. Actually, that's what this question is about. How are they leveraging technology?
You know, Vivek is a genius. He's creating the first paperless arena. And the way it was explained to me, you walk in an arena, you don't need a ticket. The arena will know who you are, take you to your seat. You could be at your seat. I want to get a hat. Hit a button, they'll bring a hat to you. It's also going to be an outdoor arena. This arena in the next 4 or 5 years will be the best arena in the country, and it'll be all technology based. And as I said before, it'll be paperless. You don't need to bring your money, just bring your phone, and we'll direct you to what's going on.
It'd be great to see the Kings embrace some of the wearable technology, some of the shirts, the heart rate.
It'd be great to see the Kings get some wins too. Jeez.
Yeah, first things first.
Yes.
Have you ever tried CrossFit, Shaq?
No. And you know the reason why is, you know, they do a lot of moves that I'm not used to doing. You know, basketball is this way, that way, jump up and down. CrossFit, they do a lot of, you know, gyrations and pumps and hip movements and all that stuff. And I didn't mean it like that, but you know, they do a lot of crazy stuff that at 42 my body can't handle. So you know, I'm just walking on the treadmill, you know, lifting light weights and, you know, just trying to eat right.
Got it. So kind of just a little bit more on the fun side of things. Tell us what you think about Charles Barkley.
I freaking hate him. He takes up all the TV time by saying the same thing 4 times in a row. You know, the Clippers are pretty good, and earning the clip. Like, Chuck, you said that 3 times. You know, then the guy says in my ear, Shaq, you only got 15 seconds left. Shut up. No, he's a funny guy. He refuses to have any technology. He's just now getting a smartphone, yeah. He had the oldest analog phone I've ever seen. I think somebody gave him one of those Samsung phones, so he's just now learning how to text. He will not do Twitter or Facebook and that, but you know, maybe we could you know, change that one day. Yeah. But he's very, very opinionated. And he's an asshole, but other than that, man, he's and you can quote me on that. Take a picture and send it to him. No, we're good friends. His mother and I are best friends. He's a jokester. Have you seen the Saturday Night Live skit that they did of me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Very funny.
I've also seen him swing a golf club. That's pretty not awesome.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
His golf swing is worse than my free throw percentage.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, Shaq.
Hey.
Tell us also, during your playing time, who did you Who got under your skin the most?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Yeah, I try to get under a lot of people's skins because, you know, I realize that a lot of people, including myself, we like to read our own press clippings. So I used to throw little jabs out there, and if I can get you to respond, I know I had you. Because, you know, basketball is, you know, 60% mental and 40% physical.
Right.
That's why you have a lot of unathletic, legendary players. Like Larry Bird couldn't jump high, couldn't run fast, but, you know, what he did to you mentally just, you know, wore you out. So I realized that if I could throw a jab or two at a guy or, you know, say something about him, about his family, and get him to respond, I know I had him. Like, I can get you to respond anytime I want.
Someone said Kobe.
I love him too.
Yeah.
I guess nobody believed that. They get a response.
Who's the craziest guy you played against?
Craziest guy I played against and with was Gary Payton. I actually seen him choke an opposing coach, a legendary coach, at the bus one time. Him and Hubie Brown was going back and forth, and he just walked right past me when I was talking to Hubie, and he started choking. And Hubie's face started turning red. I was like, Gary, you trying to kill this man? Yeah, he was the craziest.
So back to Wearable, someone's asking a question, do you think we'll ever see a wearable with your name on it? The Shackable.
I don't know.
The Wear Shack.
Unless you hook me up, I don't.
Maybe we will.
No, I mean, no. It's not important that, you know, my name's on it. You know, it's just important that people continue to stay active and, you know, continue to be healthy. I'm not one of those guys that has to have his name on everything.
Well, I tell you, it's great that you're here because it's important that we get the word out about the benefits of wearable technologies, of wearable health tracking and fitness tracking technologies. And when a person of your stature gets up and starts talking about these types of things, people listen. So it's really great that you joined us here today, Shaq. What's your favorite barbecue joint in Austin? I think I know the answer.
Stubbs, baby.
Stubbs, of course.
Stubbs. Matter of fact, we go in there right after we leave here. And Rick's paying.
I am paying. Because your money's no good in Austin.
That's right.
All right, well, we'll do one more question here because this one looks interesting, and I'd like to know the answer to this too, and then we'll wrap it up. But what's your next business venture?
The next business venture, I don't know.
You don't know?
We have a lot of meetings today. We meet with a lot of people, but I would like to help purchase a fitness franchise.
Fitness franchise?
Yeah, fitness franchise. Maybe like a 24-hour fitness, purchase all of them, something like that. So
you've been getting in better shape more recently. I mean,
yeah, I had to. I was getting kind of chubby at the bottom.
You working out regularly now?
And then I was looking in the mirror and I was losing my ass, so I had to do more squats to get my, to get the roundness of my booty back. Gotta have that booty, Rick. Girls like the booty, trust me.
You gotta have the booty, absolutely. Well, Shaq, again, I want to thank you very much for lending your voice to this movement. It's at this point, we still don't have quite yet an industry where a lot of us are working towards creating one. And again, lending your voice to something at this stage is going to help us get to more people and help us move the industry along. So thank you very much for taking the time today. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you all.
Well done.